king. A tidal wave. Essence perfect, life looks brilliant. Give me more of this. I'm out of control, about to blow, and I've been caught in the undertow. So toxic, but I can't get enough. You're burying me, burying me. Yeah, you're burying me, burying me. You've got me hypnotized. Push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. Whoa, I can see, I can hear, going crazy, but the light has got me hypnotized. You've got me hypnotized. Everyone is watching me when I'm coming around. They all are judging me when I'm lying on the ground. I've got no shelter, I've got no escape. My life is a prison and I can't run away. I feel it in my bones. I'm losing it.
Do you believe in Joe Hendry?
We all believe in Joe Hendry.
Well, when you say his name, you have to clap because that's the thing. I think it's a law. I don't want to get in trouble, so make sure we clap when we say his name, and he will appear.
Yeah.
Bobby says, "Hello, my friends. How are you both doing? We just got to see Joe Hendry, so we're fantastic.
pumped.
There's a lot of people I didn't want to see on tonight's show. We'll talk about them later.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, Ashley's not going to like me. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
I've got my haterade right here. Don't you worry.
Yeah. I figured you would.
What did you think of tonight's show?
It was so nice. I really enjoyed it. I feel like happy pumped for everything else that's happening. It's just nice to like go on my timeline, be able to see so many people talking about NXT now because of this crossover. Chef's kiss.
Yeah, I mean, our good friend. Oh, I say our good friend now. The special guest we had on the post show said it's official now, right? Like this is the best crossover between two brands in a long time.
Oh yeah.
Like this is doing some work, man. Let me tell you. Yeah, I'm very excited for the future of this partnership because it seems like both sides are taking it seriously. It's not just, we'll give you money, let our people come run ruckshaw on your people. Which is new for partnerships with TNA.
Plus, it's nice to see people on both shows. It's not just a one-sided kind of partnership. You know, we get the surprises here. Not so surprises on TNA because it's taped, but you still get, you know, some sort of surprise in TNA as well.
If you're there live, you get surprised. If you don't read the internet, you get surprised.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you gave me guesses on who was going to show up in TNA, Tatum Paxley, Izzy Dame, and the Candy Crew would not have been on my list of people to send to TNA.
Tatum would have been on mine. That's the only one.
Well, Tatum was on mine, but we talked about Tatum. We understood she wouldn't have been before the appearance of Jordan Grace in NXT. As soon as Jordan Grace appeared in NXT and we got that segment, we knew what was coming.
Yeah.
But the title of tonight's episode is an egotistical celebration. And boy, oh boy, was he an ego tonight.
Yes.
We start the show with All Ego Ethan Page coming out after the recap of the pay-per-view. And he says, and we get Vic Joseph before we even get Ethan Page talking, pumping up the greatness that is Ethan Page by saying he has the quickest rise to the NXT championship in the history of NXT. Even quicker than Kevin Owens, whose record he broke by 3 full weeks by only taking 40 days from debut to championship. So congratulations, Mr. All Ego Ethan Page. He then comes in and talks about how everybody hates him. How everybody's going to hate him because now he's the champion. And the crowd is showing him right because this crowd did not like him. I don't know why. I don't know why this crowd hates him already. Like, I I don't know. I like all ego Ethan Page. I think he's great.
I wouldn't say they hate him. It's just the fact that you're automatically going against Trick. You're definitely not going to be on the good list, to put it like that, especially in the crowd. So
I've never seen that Smarky Mark crowd so together on hating one person as much as they hate all ego Ethan Page.
Oh yeah.
Video bro Bobby Munson says, I guess it pays to sign with NXT closer to the next pay-per-view, Mr. Ego. It does. We don't have pay-per-views. We have premium live events. I'm going to shill because Ed shills for shill. Premium live events, sir. Sean Cena jumps in and says, hello, hello, Sean Cena. Thank you for joining us. Sorry, I'm old. I am too. I'm surprised we didn't see our NXT Women's Champion tonight. I'm not.
I am.
I'll be
Her
honest.
or Lola, none of them? That's weird.
I'll be surprised if we see our NXT Women's Champion in the next couple of weeks, let alone tonight. There's a problem with our NXT Women's Champion. She doesn't have any viable challengers. Until either Cora Jade or Julia's ready, there are no viable challengers. They tried to make us believe that there's a viable challenger.
Yeah.
You know what, Mike? She couldn't even pull herself together to show up for tonight's show when she didn't win. No, she probably wouldn't have shown up then, too. She'd probably still be shaking her ass somewhere in Toronto because she would have missed a corporate flight to come home. No justice for Lola.
Yeah.
Lola gets no justice. She needs no justice. She was not robbed. The foot was not under the rope. I have examined it closely. It was near the rope, but not under the rope. There is no angle of camera that puts that foot under the rope. None.
Yep.
Millie made it on time. Millie says, I think that all the champ is completely understand why everyone is collectively pissed. Trick wasn't even in the ring when he lost. No, but I think that's the brilliance of that finish, of the way this wins. Because as we get into the promo, he starts talking about how everybody hates him. Everybody in the locker room hates him. Everybody out here in the crowd hates him. Everybody around the world hates him. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. The ads do suck. I apologize. We might have an announcement about not having to wait through ads in the near future. So,
well, I was gonna say, if you do have Amazon Prime, you can actually use your sub for that. So no ads for you. Maybe that helps, Millie. I don't know if you have Prime.
There is the Amazon Prime subscription. If you make your Prime and your. Did we get rid of? Yes, we got rid of the ads that Bobby put on there for 8 minutes an hour. We did get rid of the 8 minutes of ads. Yes, we're down. We're down to 2 minutes.
Bobby really wanted people to watch our show.
Every hour, which is much more affordable. But no, after he says, I brought out all the security so that nobody can come and attack me. And like on cue, Ora Mensa comes and tries to attack him, and the security swamps him. They stop him, and they get him out of the arena. Or so we think. Or so Ethan Page hoped. And he says, I want to thank Ava for making sure that Oro Mensa, as he just proved, wasn't out there in Toronto, because if he was there, I would have never been able to win the championship. Which brings out Trick. Trick's not happy. And Trick says, before Trick comes out, Ego vows to make sure that none of the outsiders ruin this championship reign, and that it's no longer we are NXT, it's he is NXT. No bigger way to become a heel in NXT than to just try to destroy the We Are NXT chant.
Yeah, that's been there from the beginning. So
Millie says, I'm perfectly fine with 3 ads compared to the 8. Yeah. One day I was in there and I was like, why do we have so many ads? And I was like, oh God, that's not good. Trick comes out and he says that he wants his rematch tonight. Ethan Page says, you know what? You deserve a rematch. But as far as your rematch tonight goes, denied. Which brings out Shawn Spears, who I thought was, I'll be honest, I thought was Robert Stone. When the music first hit, I didn't recognize what the music was, and I just assumed it was Robert Stone. Because it wasn't Ava's music, and it wasn't Stevie's music. So I just assumed that it was Stone's music because somebody had to be coming out here to make a match. Nope.
No.
It was Ethan Page coming out. It was Shawn Spears coming out to get a congratulations from Ethan Page for making sure that he pulls Trick out of the ring so that Ethan can win the match. And he goes, you know what? You're right. When you're right, Shawn Spears, and you're right. Thank you for doing that so that I could fall into this championship.
Oh my God.
He's an asshole.
Yes.
Out comes Javon Evans. A brawl happens. And I say in my notes before anything happens, oh, look, there's going to be a tag team main event. And there was.
Yes. Which I was surprised it didn't happen before Heatwave. I was expecting this to happen before it.
Right?
I gave us that. Can they coexist? Because they're gonna be like going against each other soon, kind of thing. So I was waiting for that to happen before the show, not after the show. So when it happened, and I was like, really? Now you could have done it like a week or two ago when it really could have made even more sense. But
you know what? I like the idea that it's after the show, because if it's after Heatwave, it makes it feel like it doesn't have that basic storytelling. Like, this is different.
Mm-hmm.
We have the match. Ethan won. Now we have the tag team match.
Yeah.
Getting back into our comments, outsiders. Dude just signed from TK's company. He tries to use the term outsiders, and that is gold. He did. And by the way, he did get attacked by not one, but two outsiders in this match that we'll have later on tonight. Millie Rose says, that's not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. That did anger me when he said that, because you do not mess with We Are NXT. No, you don't. You really don't. Even Kevin Owens didn't bother to mess with that. HPC Bad Guys jumping in the chat. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you, fellas. You guys will be doing your NXT chat probably tomorrow night, if I remember your schedule correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, though. Yeah, what did you think of the vast promo segment that we had here?
It made me laugh though when you think about it, that the baby faces, the ones with the cool theme songs, came out and they were like, cut the music, I don't want this tonight. And then Shawn Spears is just like, no, he's the only one that didn't say it. The other ones, even like a trick, is like, cut it. Yeah, I was like, don't, no music today, cut it off. No, this was fun. I really like seeing this even after, and how clever Ethan is. Like, yeah, I just fell into the championship the way I did. It just like, in so many terms, like the outsiders term, but obviously with the people from TNA and the rumors that we've been getting every so often about that as well. And the, I was going to say, the Avengers post-credit scene that we got after so that was very clever of him to use as well. But again, it was very fun. And it just, I think it was ironic that they keep mentioning, obviously, Kevin Owens winning the championship, which was about 2 months after his debut, which we talked about recently as well, compared to now with Ethan having like the shortest time before signing. So that was pretty awesome, the timing of that as well. But again, this was a very fun segment. I liked how it was a great way to open the show, and it dropped in and began with the Easter eggs all night.
Yeah. And can they coexist? Wait, no, that only works before. Yeah, exactly. It only works before the championship match, which is why this made so much sense. The baby faces are mad because they didn't win. One of the heels is mad because he's responsible for the other heel winning. And they all kind of hate each other, so it makes perfect sense to just throw them in a big 4-person tag. Melball College jumps in and says, Lovely's Melball should want to stay because in a couple segments she's going to have something happy to hear about. With the recap of the Arianna Grace and Karmen Petrovic stuff with tag match and then the promo thing backstage. And then we had the match. Karmen Petrovic versus Arianna Grace. Boy, this was a waste of TV time. Maybe?
Perhaps.
Maybe? Perhaps. Like, don't get me wrong. Yeah. I think these women are both ultra talented. I think they can have a great wrestling match. However, I don't think they can have a great wrestling match in what felt like 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Half of which was spent focusing on the two girls outside the fucking ring.
Yeah, it just, I feel like it was one of those matches. Like I feel like really nothing happened until like really the end, between seeing Jasmine and JC outside. Karmen does her kick, she wins, and then I think Fallon kind of gets her presence nowhere afterwards. But other than that, there's not much to it. And I was like, this is one of those, like, I feel like I don't want to say it should have lasted longer, but it should have had a little bit more happening like during the match in itself, to make, like, give you that discussion that Karmen is like the better one out of the two, if that makes sense. So I feel like they should have done a little bit more to give Karmen like the credit that she is better than Arianna within the match itself. They should have done more in that aspect, but I don't know how this feel like it barely happened. I want to know how long the match was, because it didn't feel like it lasted too long either.
I was gonna say it felt like 3 minutes.
Yeah, it really did.
And then Fallon comes out and she gets involved. And I love this. This is going to be a theme of the night for this. The now I'm focusing on myself, friendless Fallon Henley goes ahead and does the dirty work for the two girls on the outside of the ring who don't want to have friends either and want to focus on themselves. And Fallon is working with JC and Jasmine, although Fallon's biggest, meanest point is that she's sick of rookies, which is exactly what Jasmine is. This makes no fucking sense. No fucking sense.
No, the part that irritates me is just like, I really thought this heel turn was for Fallon to like really focus on herself. And I thought, great, because I bet you it's going to lead to a match, a championship somehow down the road. Please let it happen. I feel like she definitely will be great as a champion, especially singles champion. We had her as a tag team champion, which wasn't for too long either. And then when she joins them, I was like, but what's the point of doing this? It just is kind of a little bit of what you were doing before, just thought you were a heel. So, which makes me think like you with both of them makes me feel like it really didn't make sense for you to turn heel, because you're doing the same thing all over again that you were doing before. So just like, at this point, I'd rather have her as a face the way she was, because this doesn't make sense to me.
She's a bad girl who doesn't want to have any friends but has to have friends because she's too boring to be on her own. And I like Fallon. I do.
It's disappointing.
I want to like Fallon Henley. There's a lot to like there. This wasn't it, homie. This was not it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get a better version of this, but upon the recommendation of the chat.
There you go, Mel. That was fast. They look their reaction so quickly.
All right. Bye-bye, Eddie. We'll see you later. It's just, why can't Fallon just be by herself? Like, Shawn Michaels has done a really good job of giving women individual storylines that don't around we all have friends. Like, all the girls don't have to be friends. Why can't Fallon just be focused on winning a championship? Be a heel version of Kalani Jordan. Be a heel version of Sol Ruca. They don't really want friends. They don't really need friends. They're just kind of doing their own thing. Mm-hmm. But as a bad guy.
Don't know what happened there.
Millie says, oh, hey, Eddie. Millie also says, Fallon, get over yourself. And if Fallon gets over herself, she would technically be getting over. I mean, she's over with Ella J with that cow that she kills every week for the jacket. I swear it's a new cow every week. I don't know. No. I just want to hate her, so I'll just say it's a new cow every week so people don't like her. We then get Brooks Jensen backstage with Ava. And they're talking about Brooks being a dum-dum for the last month and a half. Trying to pull this storyline together in some way, shape, or form. And she says that a couple people went to his defense because her and Shawn Michaels wanted to release him. Which makes sense. Guys running amok, causing nonsense, you release him. Yeah. I can get with that. But she says that some people went to bat for him, and he says, I want to make an impact here. I have a great support system. And it got my mind thinking. Boring, bland, heel, system. I know a group of people like that. They're over in TNA, where they make an impact. Exclusive friends.
No.
Bobby, no!
No, definitely no.
However, and 2 segments later, I was quickly made to know that this wasn't going to be the case. But we'll get to that in a minute. What did you think of the Ava Brooks Jensen stuff here?
This is not how I thought it was going to happen. I thought it was going to be more like in ring to give him more of a little bit of attention, to put it like that. So when this started coming up, I was like, what is happening here? And that's when I realized, oh, okay, this is the Shawn Michaels thing. And again, being that Shawn Michaels is the one that kind of did the promo for this, I expected in a way that Shawn to be there somehow. So I was very surprised at what he was. It's like, you talked about it, not Ava. So why are you not there when you said it yourself too? But either way, I like the also not only the references that you mentioned, but the part that he talks about being second generation, which made a lot of people realize that he's second generation that didn't know about before. And not only that, but I love the part that he looks at her at Ava and says, like, you understand that pressure. She goes, yeah, I understand you completely. And I was like, again, we haven't had quite a while reference to her being the Rock's daughter. So here we go again with this one. So I like that part of it because it's something that, as we think about it this way, it doesn't happen often when you're second, third, fourth generation and you're able to talk to each other like this and understand each other in that sort of way. So I really like that moment between them. And it's like, and then we haven't had that like second generation reference with Ava in a while, but even her, like, she's like, yeah, I understand. I definitely get that part of it. So I like all the people now on Twitter just going, oh, he's a second generation. Who's his father? It's like, I like seeing that happen now.
And for those wondering who is Brooks Jensen's father, it's really apropos with John Cena in the news this week, because no, it's not John Cena. Get your minds out of the gutter. But it's one of John Cena's former running buddies when he was the doctor of thugonomics, none other than B Squared, Bull Buchanan, a member of the Right to Censor. Oh God! No wonder why he's bland heel, bad shit wrestler. That was Bull fucking Buchanan.
Jeez. But I also wonder because she did say that some people vouched for him, which made me think, of course, Josh was going to be one of them. But she said it in plural, so I was like, who else vouched for him? Because the other person could be Fallon, maybe. But is there anybody else aside from those two?
Yes. There's one in particular.
So, I know.
John Spears.
So I've been waiting for that part of it. It was really interesting there as well. But again, and not only that, but later on when he did what he did, he also said about making an impact once again. So he did mention that twice in one night, which I was like, definitely keeping a note of that for later.
He says, send the system to NXT so the mob that is the NXT universe has a reason to mob. Millie also had one of her, what was it? No, it's not Jim from The Office. It's the other guy from The Office. What is it?
I don't watch The Office. Yeah, nobody come at me.
But it's no, God, no, please, no, that gif that we always see. Yes. Bull Buchanan from Right to Censor is his dad. Oh, it's Michael. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. And Shawn says, oh God, Right to Censor. Yeah, bad times in WWE. A group of 2 really good people and 2 really, really awful people. Bull Buchanan, who's just an awful wrestler, and I don't know how good he is as a person. And then Sean Morley, who's just an absolute shit person, who I don't care what happens to him. I hope bad things. I hope bad things. A bad Christian for it, but I hope bad things. I did not watch The Office. I don't like The Office. I think it's a very vastly overrated show. I've watched a few episodes and not really found any of it funny.
I don't do a lot of comedies.
I don't like Parks and Rec.
No. Or Community. Any of those shows?
No,
I haven't watched
like
any of those.
Community. Community's good. I enjoy Community, but I didn't like Parks and Rec and I didn't like The Office.
No, I haven't watched any of those.
Right, I love Ivory. Ivory's great. As is The Godfather. Godfather's wonderful people. Get the Tables is very upset with me. Oh my God. Anyways, moving on. Yeah. We then get the Heritage Cup match with both people already in the ring and a DJ spinning tunes. And who was that DJ? It was indeed Eddie Thorpe. What did you think of Eddie Thorpe spinning tunes during the intermissions of the Heritage Cup match?
I love how the crowd was so into it. It's like the crowd's more paying attention to what he's doing in the Eagles Nest than what's happening in the ring. And it just made me laugh. I'm sorry. It really did, especially when Lexis is the one in the ring. Sorry, not sorry. But it was just so fun. Every time he changed the tune, people would react to it somehow. And I like how Lexis is like, take that crap off, turn that down. And Eddie goes up higher. It's like, no, we're not doing that. It's funny, though.
It's a fine match. It's okay. So Billy says justice for Eddie. What are they doing to the poor guy? This I guarantee you is an Eddie Thorpe thing. This isn't like an NXT thing. I think this is him asking for this because he does do DJ events in the Florida scene. That is one of the things he does. Ever since they introduced him way back when, they've talked about how he's a DJ, how he loves his music, and how he brings that in with his Native American culture. Like, that's something that we've heard about since the beginning. It's fun to finally see it, even if I agree with Lexis King that it's not music, it's absolute garbage. But again, that's besides the point. I don't want to agree with Lexis King, so we're going to quickly move on from that.
I did want to point out about that. Yeah, that comment from Get the Tables. I'm missing something at Thorpe. I don't see what others do in him. I just feel like since he started, we get mostly video packages about his background, but we don't see like in the action in the ring how good he is. I feel like NXT Underground was probably the best example, and I hate that basically feels like the only example because we haven't seen much of him in that aspect. I don't know why. I keep wondering why we don't see him wrestling more often because I would like to see him wrestle more often. I I don't understand. I would like to see more of him in the ring than just the video promos that we get.
And if you want to see more of his work, if you go back in the New Japan Strong archives when they first started, Carl Fredericks or Eddie Thorpe is who you're going to be looking for, and you'll find a lot of good stuff. He did some good stuff. He's part of the New Japan Dojo system. I'm interested in the character, and I'm constantly interested in the character that is Eddie Thorpe. I think he's a fine wrestler, but I think they're trying to fine-tune something to make it work. And his injuries don't help. The fact that he's been hurt twice during his run where they tried to give him a push, I don't think helps him much in that respect. Tony D'Angelo defeats Lexis King 2-1 in, I think, 5 rounds. 4 or 5 rounds. I honestly don't care. The match is over. Tony D won. Yay.
Yeah.
This whole match was a backdrop to Eddie Thorpe versus Lexis King as something to happen in the future.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
The camera's out of focus. There we go. Now I'm back in focus. When we leave this match and Eddie Thorpe and his DJ duty, we'll no longer see Eddie Thorpe for the rest of the night. Brooks Jensen is backstage attacking Javon Evans. And apparently it's been a very vicious attack. Josh Briggs comes up and tries to talk some sense into Brooks, and he talks about how, go with me. Come on, we need to talk. And he's like, no, I'm here to make an impact. And I'm like, shit, I just need Astrid's graphics for making an impact. Just slam him down every time he says it. Sure. Fine. Whatever. I don't care about Brooks Jensen.
No, I'm hoping to do like they give. I hope once they gives the explanation, it just makes it better in that aspect and like gives us more of an interest in the story. Because I like how even Josh pointed out, he's like, I stuck out my neck for you, it's like vouched for you, so and like basically you repay me this way, and he just kicked him out. But like you said again, he said, I'm here to make an impact. This is the second time in the night that he says that line, so I was like, I feel like that reference there is just the one that sticks out to me the most. But I'm just waiting for that moment when they do put in with Shawn. I would like to see what happens there more so with both of them there. And that's what I'm interested in seeing. Like right now, just him attacking Javon, I was like, okay, I guess.
Yeah. It's gonna be a thing, isn't it?
Yes.
We have a backstage segment with Ridge and the Chase University people where Thea Hale is very happy about her match with Izzy Dame and she's going to win. And Ridge comes and says he's the one who talked. After that, he talked to Ava and said once Thea Hale wins her match with Izzy Dame tonight, she's going to potentially be in line for a championship match against Roxanne Perez, where I go, oh, so that's how we're bridging the gap until we get to Julia.
I was surprised we didn't get a battle royal somehow.
Oh, God. Almost my worst fear. If not as bad, it's not as bad as Lola, but it's almost as bad. It's Thea Hale.
Yeah.
Just waiting on the constant TNA references now. Figure that one out.
Yes.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of them. Ridge also tells us that he got, yes, Millie Rose is correct. Julia is officially cleared. She'll be having her match in 4 days. Well, probably 3 days' time now for the Japanese people. But for Marigold, she'll be having her opportunity to take on Sari. And if you're still here, can you drop the name of that championship? I know it has a funky name, and I don't remember exactly what it is.
And I looked it up before, and it was all it said was Marigold World Championship, and I was like, "There's no way just
there's another name
for it. Yeah,
it's like a weird 2-name name and it looks great. Don't get me wrong, I love the look of the championship, but the name has left a little be desired. We also find out that Ridge has gotten. It's the Superfly. No, I thought it was more than just that. Is it just Superfly? I thought it was more than that. Is it just Marigold Superfly Championship? Doesn't sound.
Oh my! I don't know how I feel about that name.
They cover Marigold on a weekly basis for us, and if you don't already, and you want to learn more, and not have to listen to baboons like me talk about it, go watch Andre and Melball as they talk every Friday about Japanese wrestling on the Japanese Wrestling Update, right here in our local establishment, right after SmackDown every week. Ridge goes ahead and gets Duke Hudson a championship match. And Duke is like, me versus Ethan Page? He's like, no. I don't have that much clout. God, no. No, you got a match with Obafemi. And Riley's like, Duke's gonna die.
And so you get a championship, everybody get a championship. Is that what it is?
No. Riley Osborne's getting nothing.
And then there's Chase.
This championship opportunity for Duke is until him and Andre Chase get their chance at the tag team titles again. So, NXT, you're letting me down here, Shawn. Shawn spent all his money on the recipes in round 1 for the pay-per-view, and tonight it's just he was finding whatever scraps he had left to toss in the pot. Riley is just Riley. You know what? I don't blame Riley. If I had to date Blair Davenport, I'd be a sad man too.
Oh my God.
I'd be a sad man too if I was dating Blair Davenport.
Oh my word.
Gallus takes on TNT, Tyson Dupont, and Tyriek Igwe.
Yep. I took the picture so I can remember.
What do you think?
It was a match, and it happened, and it almost didn't happen because it felt so short. I just didn't understand this because we had, I think it was 2, maybe 3 attacks within both teams with each other, and then the match gets canceled, I guess, or / postponed to this week. So you'd think that maybe with all the attacks backstage, there would be this aggression, and the match would be one that would last a while. And this match was so short, I couldn't believe it. Once it ended, I went, what? All those attacks for nothing? Because that's what it felt like. At this point, I was so surprised, but I think I forgot. Not only thinking about like the match in itself, but just like I'm not particularly a fan of Gallus. So seeing Gallus and then this was like this felt like a waste of time as well. Just like Karmen and Arianna, it basically felt like the same type of way, I guess if you want to say it. Yeah, I would have done without this match tonight too.
No, the way are tag team champions on SmackDown. Mel also pops in about the Marigold title. Sorry, the Superfly is their cruiserweight title. Looks like the world title is just the world title. Oh, okay, good to know. So Astrid was correct. It is just the Marigold world title.
Uh-huh.
And the Superfly is the junior title, essentially, for a Japanese correlation. Trick is backstage with Kelly Kincaid, and he's talking over about the fact that Javon is out for the match, and talks about going at it alone and doing this. He's like, wait, that might not be a smart idea. I'm going to go have to find myself a tag team partner. And as he walks away, Kelly Kincaid starts to send it back to the front. And Joe Hendry appears on the TV behind her. Yes. Reference number 1 to Joe Hendry. 2 if you count the recap package where they showed the thing from the post-credit scene from the pay-per-view again.
Yes.
You know, they could have just done this for Josh Briggs. They could have just put Josh Briggs in this spot.
The reaction, the one that happened later on, when Stevie's like, "Oh, why didn't you put Josh as a partner?" And I went,
"Yeah, let's just call it our own bad book." I mean, granted, they did that for the reason that we'll talk about later, but
yeah.
We then get Wes Lee in the ring, and I'm going to let Astrid talk about this promo segment because I got to get a nice big gulp here.
You don't want to be a haterade yet. You need to pump up your haterade. Is that what happened?
I got to get more haterade in me.
No, this was one of those, like, it felt similar to what happened before, so I didn't like that aspect of it. But Wes Lee's in the ring. He's telling us about his future and kind of debating it about kind of in a way like quitting based on his loss to Obafemi at Heatwave. And not too long after, we get the music, basically, I don't want to say MSK, but the Rascals music. And I like his facial expression while he does hear the music. And the reaction that Zach and Trey get is just amazing. I really enjoy that as well. And he's like, "What are you guys doing here? What? Like, what's happening?" And he goes, "No, you're the greatest, like, North American champion of all time. Like, what do you mean you're about to quit?" And it's like, "No." And Trey says, "You guys were, one of the top teams here in NXT as well.
One of the greatest tag teams to ever be in this building." And I'm like, "Excuse you, sir. You're the man. You're the man who didn't have the work ethic to come over here." Never mind. Sorry, I'll let you finish.
No, I would say no. Don't.
I'm not gonna. What was his name?
Don't be hating yet.
Taylor Swift. I'm not gonna.
No, but it was a fun reunion between all three of them. They just basically united on screen this way, and it just felt so nice to see that happening. And even just like, oh, we're still, I like how Zach went to the MSK sign as he did that too. And again, the crowd was just amazing for this segment as well. Something we had talked about, I think, with Stephanie and with Joey over the weekend, of something that we thought was going to happen sooner or later. I was not expecting it to be this soon, but I'm glad it happened tonight. Now you can hate.
All right, Kanye's getting up on the mic now. I don't like the Rascals. I don't. I don't like the gimmick. I don't like the whole thing. I tolerated it when MSK was here because I thought that they were ultra talented. And I still think that the three of them together are very talented. However, remember, the reason why only two of them came to NXT was because one of them didn't have the work ethic to do the schedule that was required of them, Mr. Trey Miguel. So you're lucky to be in the building, good sir.
Right. Things change.
Even more lucky to be in the building is Zach Wentz, considering we fired your ass for being a bad person.
I was gonna say that one is it's an iffy one.
To go back to Sean Cena's comment from a little while ago that I wanted to wait for the segment. I'm surprised we got Zach Wentz, Nash Carter, and NXT. Yeah. I'm really surprised that they appeared on this side. I figured we were going to see this on the other side, with Wes Lee just popping up over with his friends over there. I really did. Yes, it is debatable whether or not he is a trash human being. However, he was dressed as Hitler at a Halloween party, and for me, that's honestly enough to say that you make bad choices.
But I guess that's an odd one at least. So, but that's the only thing. That's the only thing that I kind of find him guilty for, to put it like that.
Oh, I agree. I find him guilty for the Halloween party. The other stuff obviously has been retracted. She's taken it back. We don't talk about it because it obviously probably didn't happen. She's recanted, and he's always maintained his innocence in that. He did take the blame for the one thing I give him shit for, which is Hitler at a Halloween party. Because it's not like he was young and in college. Like, he was an older person. I think it was during his wrestling career. So it's like, bad choices, sir. Fine. The Rascals are back together. I would have much preferred this all happen on Impact, where I get to pick and choose if I watch it or not.
No.
But unfortunately, it's going to happen on NXT, which means I'm going to have to watch it.
Even better.
No, not better. Worse.
Yes.
That's the opposite of what we're talking about, Astrid.
Yes, better.
No, fuck the Rascals.
Damn. See, I'm telling you, he's become a hater. Look at him.
I've never liked the Rascals.
I know.
I barely tolerated MSK.
How does it feel to be wrong?
The only time they were ever funny on TV is when they were with Matt Riddle.
No, oh my God, no, we're not talking about this.
Talk about another shit person, Matt Riddle.
No, we're not talking about Matt Riddle. No.
I will not become
Thank
a fan.
you. Yes, agreed.
I will never deny their talent, but I will not become a fan.
Oh, I wonder how you feel when you're wrong.
I'm never wrong. I'm just kidding.
Yes, you are just now.
Very often. I'm very
Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, we're not dealing with that tonight.
Yeah.
I literally popped, but I also understand the hate. They can be real. See, here's the thing. I'm not a weed guy. I don't like all the references. I don't like the juvenile. Like, see, they're bad DX. They're DX if DX was just really annoying all the time. Whereas DX is funny. No. One, none of those shops make a shirt in my size. I have a shirt back here from an old friend that barely fits. So no. Yes, they are grown-ass children. And I really don't like
this is for you. MSK is great.
And I mean, folks, where's the lie?
Thank you very much.
I mean, MSK is okay, but
no, more than okay.
Certainly not going to make a Rascal shirt. You know what? He's in here giving us some good content. So I am going to go ahead and give a shout out. If anybody's not following, that didn't work.
Did you figure it out?
I know. I forgot the S. That's why. There we go. Shout out to Get the Tables. If you want to watch alongs to see some great reaction, including Tony's reaction to a couple of things over the weekend, make sure you go ahead and check out Get the Tables on Twitter and on Twitch. They use everything. They watched, whether it be AEW, whether it be WWE, they watch it all. So definitely go ahead and give Tony a shout out. Go give him a watch. It's great.
Well, Millie, this one's excused just because it is kind of similar to what Ed likes to say. That's the only reason why I use it. Other than that, I don't like Bobby in this household, just so you know.
Yeah, no, it's only because it's a great clip of a funny line. And if we could get anybody else saying it where it was as funny, we would use that clip over Bobby Fish clip.
And it's because Ed likes to go, tell me I'm wrong. So
I'm wrong. So it's where's the lie?
So yeah, so it's very similar to it. Hence why.
Speaking of things that are where's the lie, Ego and Spears are backstage talking about how Trick's going to be in a handicap match. And Spears says, hold on, I've got to go counsel a lost soul. And I'm like, oh, he's going to go talk to Brooks Jensen.
And Brooks was in the room too, and we couldn't see who he was talking
mystery person, aka
people thought it was Ava. Yeah, people thought it was Ava again.
Spears. I guarantee you it's Sean Spears.
I know, but I think it was. I don't know if in commentary they said, "Oh, maybe he's talking to Ava again," kind of thing. They insinuated it because of after the attack, because so.
We then have Izzy Dame versus Thea Hale.
I missed this, so.
Yeah, so. This wasn't a long match. It was longer than the other one, which is good.
You sure?
However, part of this match involved in Chase U colors. Tatum Paxley jumped out of her house, behind the barricade before the fans. And she sat there, and then she started to go towards the ring. And Izzy Dame got mad, so Izzy Dame came out and attacked her. And then Thea Hale ran her into the turnbuckle, threw her in the ring, and after a little bit, where Izzy Dame kind of got the advantage again, Thea Hale put on, again, the world's worst Kimura lock and got the win. So, yay, we're getting a Tatum Paxley versus Izzy Dame feud. Yay. By the way, Izzy Dame is still bland as hell. At least I knew who the two were this week.
I was about to say that. It's
Who
because Karmen had the We the North gear. That's why you could tell.
Yeah, We the North on her bum, so I couldn't tell the difference. This one didn't have that there, so it must have been Izzy.
I figured. Jeez.
Yes, Tatum. I'm excited for Tatum. I love me some Tatum Paxley, but
Yep.
God, she can't feud anybody better than Izzy Dame, huh?
Nope.
MSK runs into Gallus. They say that they need to tell the Rascals to tell all the TNA talent to stay away, especially that phony Scott. This is reference number 3 on the night.
Okay.
For Joe Hendry.
Say don't say his name is what they said, I think.
Yeah, and then
Something
one of them
along
don't say his name. The next, he says that phony Scott. They said, don't say his name.
Mm-hmm.
And then they walk away. And the Rascals do their rascal thing. Oh, they asked them, like, who the hell are you guys? And
No.
Wes goes, well, if it's me and Zach, we're MSK. And if it's the 3 of us, we're the Rascals. And I'm like, and if it's all of you, you're all shit. But that's besides the point.
No.
Yes.
No.
OTM cuts a cool promo heading to the ring. Like, they didn't say anything of substance, but they talk about how the Good Brothers essentially did some damage to Bronco Nima's nose, and he's wearing the nose guard now.
Another face mask.
Yeah. But this one has like a cool like N on the side. No, we don't need any more of them. No. Bad, Millie. Bad. Last thing we need is more of them. God.
Yes. The more the merrier.
No. We have enough Rascals as it is. Let's just go back to having Wes Lee. I was happy when it was just Wes Lee. Stop that.
No, I'm not.
There. That's much better. OTM cuts that. It was a cool. I like the walking promo shots with the cameraman just walking backwards, and they head right to the ring, and then they change the camera shot. It's another cool thing that NXT's been doing, making the whole kind of place feel something different. Ever since Triple H took over, we've been getting these cool, different styles, and it's nice to see it, come and go. We don't have to have it every week, but every now and then they do it. And I'm like, oh, I like these. I remember these. These are cool. This is where we then had Brooks Jensen backstage with Ava and Briggs. And Ava's like, come on. We literally just talked about this, Jensen. You can't do this. We literally just spoke about this earlier today. And then you gone and fucked up. She did say, however, though, if Javon is cleared next week, which it's wrestling, he will be, it'll be Javon Evans versus Brooks Jensen next week. Briggs says that he wants a piece of Spears, and he's told to make sure that he stays out of the main event. Which I think was funny because Trick's still looking for a tag team partner, but don't worry about it. Stevie Turner's got my back, where she looks at Ava and she goes, well, why didn't we just make Briggs Trick's tag team partner? No.
I prefer Briggs over Brooks.
I prefer Briggs everything over Brooks.
Yeah.
Briggs
I'm like he's not a great human being. That's a different story. But performance wise, I prefer Josh over Brooks, to put it like that. So
he's definitely got his issues as a human being, but there's a reason he doesn't have Twitter. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, don't look up his name.
But no, he's told to stay out of the main event, and so Stevie Turner goes, we could have made him the tag team partner. And then, out of nowhere, for no reason, Robert Stone does the little turn and says, don't say his name. And I'm like, the fuck? She was talking about Josh Briggs. She wasn't even talking about somebody named Joe, you dumb shit. That's either 4 or 5, depending on if you count both of them as separate, different references. Oh my god, we're gonna have to do these one of these nights with Tony here, so we can have these discussions live as opposed to just via the chat. But no, No. I loved Robert Stone when he was Robbie E. and he was in TNA and he was part of the bromance. As Astrid freezes on me for a second there.
No, it's you.
No, you froze, not me.
I know, but you froze for me twice now. So.
Oh, okay. We then get the match between OTM and... I mean, is he playing a character or is he just being a jackass? I really don't know. I can't tell the difference. I mean, it's fine. I just wanted to find rationale as to why the two of them are both trying to be Ava's assistant.
I still don't get that part. I thought we'll get an explanation by now. I don't mind seeing CV on a weekly basis, though. I just want to see her wrestle more often. But I still want to know what they're competing for. If I'm like, if they made it seem like there's going to be an opening or something like that soon and they need to compete for it, that I will get. But they haven't told us why they're competing for this.
And that doesn't go away because we'll talk about that more in a little bit. Mm-hmm. Talk to me about the match between OTM and the Good Brothers. What do you think?
It was alright for me. I think it was Lucien is the one that really stood out to me. The way he was like, I think he was like kind of like a choke slam that he did to Anderson. That looked amazing. And the way he just ran over like that, you could tell he used to be a football player, by the way he was running over to him as well. But the moments between him and Anderson, I think were the best ones of the match. Just like he looked amazing tonight. I don't know what it was, but he was my MVP of this match. He looked great. But this was like. But the thing that was surprising for me, not Mia coming out and continuing that with Jaida. I thought that would have been over by now after the match. So I was like, okay, but I'm like, I don't mind it that you keep happening, that you keep continuing this. But I was very surprised of OTM winning though. I expected the OC to win, as I put it, like the veterans here. But again, I'm glad that OTM got the spotlight. They look great, especially Lucien. I don't know why they won, but I'm glad they did.
I don't remember. I didn't write it down. I don't remember who did it, but early in the match, they had that really cool delayed superplex. The standing suplex on the delayed vertical suplex on Gallows. And that was impressive because it's fucking Gallows. And Gallows is as I can say, is a bigger dude. He's a big fat load to try to get up there. So to get Gallows up there and keep him up there for that long was very, very impressive. I like this match. I thought OTM was great. I love OTM as a whole. I like the idea that Mia runs off Jaida Parker, but OTM still get the win. Mm-hmm. And this is obviously setting up the thing that we've been waiting for about 2 months now, which is we're setting up the 6-person tag. Because it's the one thing we haven't seen on this. Yeah, the suplex on Big LG was indeed insane. Mm-hmm. It was great. I very much enjoyed that. We have Fallon on a video call trashing Sol Ruca. But I have a problem. She trashes Sol Ruca for blowing her opportunity at the North American Women's Championship. Mm-hmm. What does Fallon Henley want on her own?
I was thinking more like along the lines of when she talks about Sol not winning, I was thinking, you were in the same ladder match. You didn't win either.
She's never won anything. She's never had opportunity at anything.
So I thought it was funny, at least for that part. It's like, again, it reminded me a little bit of Cora. It's like you're talking all this talk, but you don't have anything like much to back it up, aside from being a tag champ, and that's it. And again, your reign wasn't even long either, ironically. But it just made me laugh. She's like, oh, she had an opportunity and she blew. And I was like, you had the same opportunity in Kalani one?
This cuts out. They pull out of this. And I'm like, oh, it's not a video chat. It's a video message on a TV. Mm-hmm. And you've got Kelly Kincaid with Sol Ruca. And Sol says, well, you know what? You either put in the work or you bitch. I make sure I go out there and put in the work. We all know what Fallon is. That was nice. We then get the match. Billy Rose says, I was literally just going to say, when do we get the 6-person tag? I'm guessing next week. It's probably going to be either next week or in 2 weeks we'll get that. Fallon. And then we get a match where Fallon Henley essentially loses. Except the lady with no friends who's doing it on her own, putting herself first, has to have her 2 new friends come out and attack Sol Ruca from defeating her. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense.
And I don't know if you noticed that there was a point. I forgot how she landed there, but so Ruka was like leaning on the ropes, and she's by the ropes, and Fallon's like in the middle of the ring ish, and they just kind of stare at each other for like a way too long at that point. And I'm like, okay, what's happening here? Would you guys just like stopped? And then Fallon is like kind of like has her arm kind of like waiting for Soul, but Soul's leaning by the ropes and in commented like, yeah, so Soul was taking a little bit too long to like compose herself and like think about what to do next. I was like, that was a little bit strange. Soul took a little bit too long to go to Fallon for the next part, and it felt so odd in there. I don't know what happened there. It just didn't seem right.
And since we have a moment here talking about Sol Ruca, we can go ahead because there's nothing else more interesting to talk about with this match. We can go ahead and talk about the fact Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer on their recap of No Mercy. They called the Kalani Jordan and Sol Ruca match a well-choreographed gymnastics routine. However, if you look at the video that you can find easily on Twitter, you can find that the opening sequence of that match that I talked about was a little bit choreographed. I thought was a little odd. Is almost an exact move for move portion as the opening sequence to Ricochet versus Will Ospreay from the Best of the Super Juniors. By the way, that's a match that Dave Meltzer gave 4 3/4 stars.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Alvarez gave this match had the same opening sequence 2 1/4. Astrid, what do you think about that?
The best way I can describe it, I flipping hate it. It's the point that I want to see him like that. I'd like that, but just like, yeah, you're too biased towards one company or the other one. They might do the same thing on the 2 shows, but then one is better than the other one. It's like they basically did the same thing. The same thing. But because not only are they on a different company, but they're women on top of it, it gets rated lower. No. I was like, they did amazing. Yeah, I was like, maybe they pay tribute to the guys. I get that. They could have done that. But still, it's like, how do you have the same sequence and then you have a match of 1% or like a score and then the other one's a different score? It didn't make sense. Plus, if you think about it this way, yeah, people would have enjoyed Osprey and Ricochet. Did you hear that crowd when these girls were killing it as well? Because it probably sounded just as loud, just so you know. Hey, Theo Messler here. I'm going to kick his butt pretty soon. That's what's happening.
But I'm blocked because I made fun of his shitty star ratings. My favorite part is Brian Alvarez challenging the internet because he says, "I don't think I ever reviewed the Will Ospreay versus Ricochet match." He's like, "I challenge people to go find my review of that," and they did. It wasn't hard to find. Yes, F those guys for real.
Yeah.
I remember that Will Ricochet clip making the rounds when it first happened and people having like, I'll be honest, I didn't like the spot fest for either one. Like, I'll be honest, the well choreographed, gymnastics routines, they do nothing for me personally on either side. I have said loudly how much I disliked the Will Ospreay, Best of the Super Juniors match with Ricochet for that reason. I don't love the super choreographed, non-wrestling dancing type spots where it's all basically a big gymnastics thing. That's not something I personally find interesting. However, that's me personally that doesn't find it interesting. I don't go out there and tell people that the match is bad because they had that. Because you want to know what? The rest of that match was actually really interesting. And you know what else was really good? The rest of that Will versus Ricochet match was actually really good beyond that too. Flip-de Doodah can lead to good stuff. But Dave Meltzer hates women. And if you don't believe me, go look at his star rating systems over the years. Trust me, the man hates women.
Oh, yeah.
Almost as much as JT from New York hates women. Or JD from New York. I'm not a fan of either of those two, but those have been killed. I agree. That on most PLEs for NXT, that might have been match of the night. And I think it was the third best match of that night. And that's nothing against them. But that North American title match was absolutely fantastic. And that tag match was really, really good too. I vaguely remember briefly having an issue with it too. Like I said, it's to both of those. Yeah, I agree.
Agreed, really.
I only ever mention JD from New York when I get a chance to trash him and call him a fucking trash human being.
Ugh.
We see Damon Kemp get put in a trunk like the D'Angelo family taught. Remember, Charlie Dempsey wants to be just like the D'Angelo family. So now he's stuffing people in trunks. And the best part is they're getting ready to leave, and Red Sinclair is standing there, and she's like, "I didn't see anything."
Oh, we haven't talked about Damon saying that he's no longer with WWE/NXT anymore either.
Well, no, that's because they just killed him. We don't have to worry about talking about it. They just killed him.
He tweeted about it too.
That is one way to write somebody off. Yes.
Oh,
Damon Kemp's contract is set to expire or has expired, one of the two. And WWE has told him that they are not going to re-sign the contract or that it's expired and they decided not to re-sign the contract.
He tweeted, "It's all right. Miles turned up the AC for me."
Which is great. I love that. That's fun.
Yeah.
Now he can go be a trash human being with his brother in Buffalo. Sorry, Ella. Sorry, Jose. But he gets to go be a trash people up there. And if you don't know why the two of them might be trash human beings, just go look up Gable Steveson and incident at Minnesota, and you'll find all about why Gable Steveson is a trash human being. Whoa. NXT Anonymous says that Tatum has a backstage segment with Tatum Paxley where she's calling a broken Barbie doll Izzy Dame, and she talks about how championships are going to have to wait because she needs to teach Izzy Dame a lesson because Izzy Dame reminds her of all of the popular girls who didn't want to play with her. So she needs to teach her a lesson, and she throws the doll down and the head falls off and she walks away. And then Astrid comes walking on screen and she goes ahead and picks it up. To which Tatum Paxley tweeted out,
I think it was. I know. I remember sending it to you.
I think it's gay. Somebody stalking me.
Yeah, someone stalked me. Oh my god.
She's very excited that now she's being stalked as opposed to being the stalker.
Yeah.
Astrid, why did you pick up her broken doll?
I used to play with dolls.
But this one has no head.
So even more interesting.
For those who don't know what we're talking about, Wendy Chu walked up on the screen. And Astrid it's a long reference from a long time ago because Astrid takes naps before NXT starts. There have been days where Astrid's missed the beginning of NXT because she oversleeps for her nap.
Yeah.
So,
but disclaimer: I wake up at 6 a.m. almost every day, and Ed doesn't. So.
Yes, I do not wake up early in the morning. Brooks is in a locker room with somebody, aka Shawn Spears. We don't hear what's going on, but we just hear him talking. Melba Collins says, "Ashley, we both know you don't pick up the head doll girl. Dolls girl."
No. Instead of dolls, I pick up books instead. That's what I do.
And if you want to hear Ashley talk more about books, you can go ahead and follow her at...
Which one?
I don't know what one's your book account. I don't follow it. I don't care about books.
I'm offended.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not surprised. What is your book account, lady?
Book Lovers Book Reviews. There you go.
Okay, there we go. Thank you. Jeez.
Well, you said Q, but which one? There's so many platforms. You gotta tell me which one you need. Yeah. I'm a millennial, okay? I have platforms. There's multiples.
if you want to find more things from Ashley, because she's not going to plug herself, you can get her t-shirt here at this QR code. Or if you're going to be buying new merch, like that brand new John Cena merch, you can go ahead. Or the brand new Rhea Ripley shirt, which is a cover-up of an old Liv Morgan shirt that they couldn't sell. You can go ahead and get that right here.
Dang.
No, did you not see it? It's the Liv Morgan Revenge Tour shirt,
Yeah.
and they just put the Rhea Ripley stuff over the top of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody wanted to buy the Liv Morgan shit because Liv Morgan shit. By the way, I'm so glad that storyline's almost over. Thank fucking God.
Or you can buy the new one that I bought from Damien Priest, the Campeón t-shirt, because they just restocked it. I don't think they're gonna restock it again, just so you guys know.
Oh, we got it. They're certainly not gonna restock it very long because he's gonna lose the title in a little over 3 weeks to Gunther.
Hopefully not.
Cedric comes out of the office with Stevie Turner and Ava, and Cedric is now on NXT. I'm very excited. And then my excitement quickly waned when Robert Stone brought Ashante the Adonis, and I went, "Oh, him too. Fine."
I thought it was funny though. That I thought they got drafted.
They did. They did get drafted.
And I thought it was funny because when Stevie comes out of the office with Cedric and Ava, and then now Stone brings in Ashanti with him and Ava to the office. So it's obviously 3-3. And then Stevie's about to go in the office like, no, you can play this game. And I was like, Cedric, Ashanti, Cedric. There's no competition there, honey. Stevie won. I'm sorry.
I mean, he's going to save Cedric's career. I'm not sure if there's anybody who can save Ashanti the Adonis' career. I mean, he was in Hit Row with Flop Dollar. Not the first Hit Row, which was good. It's the second Hit Row that was shit. And by the way, if you want to hear Top Dollar give a really good interview, you can go catch our guest from the post show, Joe Carney, over at the Angle Podcast. You can go on YouTube and you can go ahead and catch that brand new interview that he just did, that just released today, with the TNA Digital Media champion, Flop Dollar.
Yep, there you go.
They remembered they existed.
Yes.
Yeah. Does this mean we can now, because Cedric's in NXT now, and Mustafa is the X Division champion in TNA, does that mean we can get Cedric versus Mustafa again? Because that was one of the greatest feuds of 205 Live ever had. The heart versus the soul of 205 Live.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't remember what 205 Live is, I don't blame you. Not many people do. Next week, we're getting Duke versus Oba for the North American Championship. The Rascal versus Gallus in 6-man action. We can also probably expect that we're going to get some form of Javon Evans versus Brooks Jensen. Probably going to get Shawn Spears versus Josh Briggs.
Yep.
Probably going to get that 6-person tag between OTM and the club.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So all of those can be expected. Yes, please run back Mustafa Ali versus Cedric Alexander. That would be fantastic. But then we get to the main event, and Shawn Spears is already in the ring with a jobber entrance as
Ouch.
Ethan Page comes out. That doesn't make Shawn Spears feel like a nobody at all, does it? And then Trick Williams gets his full entrance. And we think we're going to get a handicap match, and then the music plays. Somebody said his name, and he appeared. It only took 6 references, but Joe Hendry is finally in the CWC, I believe they call that building.
Oh, we forgot the other one was from Vic. He said like Paris and Tokyo, the way it says in the
He
song.
quoted the song
Yeah.
in one of the matches. I forget which match it was. But he
Mhm.
quoted Shawn Spears. Mel, what's he gonna think?
Uh-oh.
Oh,
He's a 10 though. He's a 10.
he's not a 10. He's a daddy. 2 times over. Also, continued congratulations to Shawn Spears on the birth of his second child with Cassie Lee. Harley Dean. What do you think of the main event? Joe Hendry and Trick Williams versus Shawn Spears and By the way, what more importantly than what did you think of the match? What did you think of Booker's commentary? Act like he's never seen Joe Hendry wrestle before.
You know what I do nowadays, so I don't have to listen to Booker? I put the volume down when the matches are happening. I listen to my audiobook instead of listening to Booker's commentary. It works wonders.
In the mod
Yeah.
chat for the Call of Unity, for Tom Collihue on his Discord server, one of the mods had asked me, Ed, I just started watching Heatwave. How do you put up with Booker T on a weekly basis?
And you're like,
My
I don't.
My answers were vodka, I don't, and lots of pain. And the mute button. I very often mute Booker T so I don't have to listen to him. Especially with all the devices on my TV screen.
Oh, there
By the
was,
way,
I forgot.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
There was a point, I don't remember which one, that even if Vic is like, kind of like calm down, Booker. He's like, because you're terrible. You want the like kind of when the girls are on screen. I was like, oh gosh, the way he said it, it was just priceless.
I can't wait for the day that Charmel shows up in NXT and Booker T's commentary becomes a whole lot different. Because Charmel doesn't watch any of this, right? Like, there's no way he's still married to Charmel if she watches this, right?
I wouldn't. Big no.
Booker T is absolutely, truly unsufferable. Yeah, he really is. This is a good match. I really enjoyed this main event. Joe Hendry got a lot of spotlight in this match. Trick Williams did not do very much at all in this match.
Like, we gotta take advantage of the big guy when he's here. You're wrestling more tonight. Yeah.
I mean, I think it was just to showcase Joe Hendry, to make sure that Joe Hendry, going into his World Championship 6-way match at Slammiversary in 2 weeks, they wanted to show off who Joe Hendry is so that people buy Slammiversary. And by the way, if you haven't, go ahead and sign up to TNA Plus. Watch Slammiversary. It's going to be a great show. TNA always puts on great pay-per-views. Go ahead and make sure you do it, because the more people that buy TNA Plus during this little partnership, the better it's going to be for TNA and NXT's partnership. Also, TNA, if you're listening, I'd love one of those little affiliate codes that we can use to try to make some money. No, the streamers who are doing the simulcasts of Impact now? Yeah. A lot of them now have affiliate codes for TNA Plus so that they can go ahead and get, like you do with your WWE, how it doesn't cost any more, but they get a little kickback on the back end. You guys got that email that went out too? I did not get that email. I need it. If you have the email, send it over to olepodcast@gmail.com so we can go ahead and try to get that affiliate code.
I got one of them, but it's not a streamer affiliate. It was the one from like, hey, I remember on YouTube, so come on over to TNA Plus so you can get that one. But no, it's a good thing because it does include the programming, and it starts at 8:00 and includes most pay-per-views, not included some. It depends on the package, but if it's the cheapest one, it does not include some anniversary. Just a heads up on that. They don't include the big pay-per-views. They include the smaller ones, just so you guys know. So but it's not like
there's still plenty of content on there. With the
no, for sure, and obviously their library too. So you get all of that. I just wanted to put that disclaimer out that it depends on the membership. So the cheapest one doesn't have the big pay-per-views like Slammiversary, but it does have most other pay-per-views, the weekly show, and the library on top of it. So I was gonna say it's not like Pika exactly, just to to put out the difference. I think it's a second membership. It does include the pay-per-views. So it just depends on what you want and how you want it, but at least you have the option to do so. But yeah, I think it's a great time to support TNA during this partnership as well and show them that it's like you're killing it here on NXT. Well, we want to see more of your people as well, and keep that crossover going. So really well done. But the show itself was like the pay-per-view. The match itself was really fun. I enjoyed just Joe Henry be able to like bask in like those moments with the crowd and the crowd chanting TNA. Just incredible to like not like watching and listen to that. But yeah, overall it was a fun match. We do get Owen Mensa coming in here and he takes out Ethan, hence why Ethan leaves Shawn by himself, and after that he's just done, so he loses.
The Henry tweet from WWE an hour ago has
Yep.
almost 1 million views and 35K likes. Pretty incredible. Yeah, it's amazing how over Joe Hendry really is in the wrestling world. Yeah, I like this match. I thought it was great. I love the idea of taking all ego out of it by having Oro Mensah chase him off. By the way, that Oro Mensah first challenge for Ethan Page is going to be a great nice little get my feet wet for Ethan Page to go ahead and beat Oro Mensah to do it. I love that. And by the way, the pricing for the TNA Plus in the States, $9.99 a month, gets you all exclusive live specials, including Against All Odds, all new episodes of the Impact simulcast, the full content library, and digital first content. You can get that as a yearly package for $95.99, again, US, per year, and it includes the same stuff. Or you can upgrade to the World Champion, and it only has an annual package, and that's $220. But if you break that down, $220 divided by 12 payments is only $18 a month, which isn't really that bad. All in all, to have all the stuff, to have that back catalog, which is fantastic because you can see Jeff Jarrett be confronted by a midget with a gun from the early days of TNA. You can also see one of the greatest TNA matches of all time, probably still the greatest TNA match of all time, Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles versus Christopher Daniels, the unbreakable main event, which is the X Division triple threat match. It is the first, and I believe still the only 5-star TNA match that ever existed. Not that we care much about Dave Meltzer, but that just tells you how good that match had to be if Dave Meltzer gave it 5 stars. Yeah, no, I thought this match was great. Joe Hendry gets the big win. Joe Hendry's on a roll. He's heading into Slammiversary, where Joe Hendry is going to become the Impact World Heavyweight Champion. Or the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. One of the two. Anybody can win except Moose.
Agreed.
Millie's giving me applause, which is the first time tonight that she's giving me applause. Disagree with a lot of things.
And to add more to it, like this week they have Jordan has the open challenge, which spoiler alerts Izzy. And they do have Charlie Dempsey versus Zachary Wentz as well. Rhino challenging for the Digital Media Championship against Flop Dalla. So yeah, they have a lot going on.
I swear, we're trying to get you to want to see this show. I know Izzy Dame, the Rascals, and Flop Dollar are not reasons to watch the show, but I promise you there's lots of good stuff happening on this show too.
What? I'm looking over to see what else to put out.
Oh, that was 2 claps for Hendry, yes. I forgot the legal obligation to clap. This was another fun episode of NXT. There were some things I didn't like. Obviously, the Fallon Henley stuff is still mind-boggling as to that character thing. But, like, I get it. They're trying to push Fallon. They're trying to push Jay-Z. They're trying to give them this identity of we're the old guard and we hate the new kids, which would really work a whole lot better if they didn't have a new kid in tow. That makes it a little bit worse for wear. But otherwise, a good show. And obviously, anytime we see Joe Hendry, I smile. Because we believe in Joe Hendry. You know what else, Astrid? What else we believe in? You telling people where they can find you this week.
I think perhaps we'll have a new episode of Ladies Vision Showcase. We're gathering our topics for that one. So hopefully Friday at 6 p.m. Probably not live, but it will be obviously premiering on the channels there. So it'll be on the Twitch and my YouTube, which is astridpizarro. And then my Twitter and Blue Sky is astridpizarro. And then Threads and Instagram is astridpizarro20. And that will be it for now until again on Tuesday when I'm here with this hater.
Yes, that's me. If you want to see more of my hatred, you can go ahead and go onto Twitter and find it at edfries12584. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/edfries2002. Tomorrow night, you can find me, Boris, and Andre as we go ahead and talk all things Age of Ultron, MC Rebound episode, Age of Ultron, with me, Andre, and our good friend Boris. So that'll be a whole lot of fun. Boris has been on here once before to talk about Loki, so we're excited to have him on again. So that'll be fun to see. We're banging through this MCU. We're also, the boys don't know this, but secret for you guys so that, you know, you can tell them, we're also going to get them to react, because I'm not sure if Andre's seen it or not. We're going to do a reaction to the Agatha All Along trailer that was released by Marvel this week, as that episodes for that will start dropping in September. Remember, when that happens, we'll have weekly episodes every Wednesday to recap all of the episodes of Agatha All Along. That show looks spoopy.
Yeah, spoopy.
Ed and his
Yes.
hater. Yes.
Really, the only thing I will correct is take out the favorite part, and then you're correct.
Our favorite hater. That's going to be my new name. But for astridpizarro, I have been Ed Fries. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time. Have a good night. Bye.
You're watching OLE, and this is a Dijak Hijack.